So Skip Bayless has found his new target. And like when you watch Skip Bayless, like he is hilarious when you don't take him seriously, but he has now found his new target, and that new target is Caitlin Clark. But before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are only 77 subscribers off getting to 22.5k by the end of the day. If we could do that, that would be absolutely incredible. That would be absolutely incredible. But we got to talk about Skip Bayless right here. And who Skip Bayless is, he is the host of Undisputed, a show that was once good when it was him and Shannon Sharp and is now horrendous. But I will say, him and Shannon Sharp is better than Shannon Sharp on ESPN. The two of them were hilarious together. But Skip Bayless, who is the #1 LeBron James hater, and look, he's probably realized, you know what, I can't hate on Bronny James too much longer. He's not going to be in the league. He's definitely not good enough to be in his league for long. So I got to pick a new target. It was Luka. It's been Luka, and now it is Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark is the new target. So the one problem is that it's very clear everyone Undisputed does not watch the games. Even though Skip Bayless makes sure he tells everybody, I watch all the games. But he just watches the box score. Like, he was spent a good 30 seconds talking about how good Nalissa Boston is. Nalissa Boston, yeah. And like, it wasn't just once. He has called Aaliyah Boston Nalissa Boston so many times. So I think he doesn't realize that Nalissa Smith and Aaliyah Boston are different people because he doesn't watch the games. But he was talking about, it's like a LeBron thing where LeBron breaks a record and it's like, but what about this? And it's like, LeBron in the year of 2024 does something, but I saw him shrink against the Dallas Mavericks in the year of 2011. Like, it's that type of thing. And Paul Pierce literally just goes, well, if you're committing turnovers and and it's like, turnovers aren't affecting the game. It's like, oh, if you're committing turnovers, she's in good company. These are the most turnovers in WNBA history. Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Becky Hammond, Tina Thompson, Elisa Leslie. And in the NBA, it's like LeBron. Is it like LeBron, Harden, Karl Malone, whatever? Like, it's like superstars. And that's the thing. And people talk about the turnovers. If you are turning the ball over and it is to the detriment of your team, they are going to take the ball out of your hands. If you are turning the ball over and it's not to the detriment of your team, then it's cool. I think the team turnovers are more important. Like, this is what people don't seem to understand. If they were playing, say, their old offense from last year, where it was slow down, dump the ball inside, let's play basketball like it's 1980. Yeah, Erica Wheeler might have only had 3 turnovers, but Aaliyah Boston probably averaged 3 turnovers a game. Like, this just, again, I don't know these numbers. Kelsey Mitchell might have averaged a few extra turnovers a game. Victoria Vivians might have averaged a few extra turnovers. Grace Berger might have averaged a few extra turnovers. The difference is that now the ball is in Caitlin Clark's hands more than it was in anyone else's at all last year. So everyone else's turnover rate on the team is down, but Caitlin Clark's is up. So overall as a team, they are committing less turnovers because the ball is in Caitlin Clark's hands more. If Caitlin Clark handled the ball 50% less and gave the ball to the rest of the team 50% more, the team probably commits more turnovers. And that's what people don't seem to realize, is that it's not about an individual committing turnovers, it is about the team. And in a heliocentric offense being run through a player, that heliocentric player is going to have a whole crap load of turnovers. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's always going to happen. But she's now picked her new target. And look, you don't see it being talked about that much on ESPN. Skip Bayless, Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is there hyping up the WNBA. He is hyping up Caitlin Clark. He's hyping up Angel Reese. Paul Pierce is just sitting back there and loving it. Like, we all saw why he got fired from ESPN. But Paul Pierce, since retiring, he does not care. All he just wants to do is talk a little bit about sports, make his money, and live in luxury. He doesn't care. He's just talking. He's like, well, they both should be there. They're both just bringing in the game. And Keyshawn Johnson definitely has never watched Caitlin Clark nor Aaliyah Boston. Definitely not Aaliyah Boston, nor Angel Reese ever played the sport of basketball. I'm so certain with the way he's talking, he has never watched either of these play. I'll give Skip Bayless this. I'm pretty sure he watches highlights. I'm pretty sure Skip Bayless watches highlights. And I don't think Paul Pierce has watched either of them play either, but he doesn't pretend that he has. But yeah, it is hilarious now. But it is the new... it is the brand new WNBA media. It is the new target for Skip Bayless. And look, just going to say this. Again, Stephen A. Smith saying he talks about more WNBA. He has not spoken about WNBA since Angel Reese smacked Caitlin Clark in the head. But Skip Bayless now, he's found the new target. And it shows that the WNBA has a pull. If the WNBA did not have pull, Skip Bayless, one, would not be talking about it, and two, would not make sure that Caitlin Clark is not in his eye line as his new target. This man will do anything to stay relevant. And look, if you take Skip Bayless if you take away the sports analyst and you think of him as an entertainment person, as a person whose job is to be entertaining and not be a quote unquote analyst like people think, then I just think he's funny. I do think in general that he is funny. I think, look, he revolutionized the debate show, for better or for worse. You could think that it ruined sports, but like he did revolutionize that style of content. It was him before it was Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith just kind of took it on. But yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Skip Bayless does from this. It's going to be so interesting to see how low it gets. Like, I don't think it's going to be as bad. Nothing will ever be as bad as early 2010 Skip Bayless. Like, do you remember the Bosch Spice era? If no one remembers, like, how disrespectful him and Stephen A. Smith together were to NBA players. You had Rasho Nesterovic, Thiago Splitter. Like, they would be insulting They would, like, make personal insults at players in the early 2010s. If you lived through that era, it's never going to be that bad again. So she's never going to get quite what LeBron got. Even Luka's not getting what LeBron got. Because if you lived through the early 2010s, like, his show was basically the NBA memes page in a person. Him and Stephen A. Smith. They would literally go on battles insulting players. They would be calling players. They would literally be doing quote-unquote analysis of basketball and be just like, him, he's a scrub. He's a scrub. Like, they'd be out here calling NBA players scrubs, and they're never going to do that again. It's never going to be quite as bad with Caitlin Clark. But what we are going to see is, we're going to see nitpicks. We're going to see the turnovers be brought up more than anything else. Because at the end of the day, look, you got to find the negative. Because if there's no negatives, if it's all praise for a player, there's no views. You can get views being the negative person in a player's story. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm surprised to see this. I really am. And again, I'm going to make a video about the turnovers, or turnovers a little later, talking in depth about them. But at the end of the day, like, look, if you are a Caitlin Clark hater, especially if you are saying she can't be rookie of the year because of turnovers, do you know that in the last game, Angel Reese also broke the all-time record for amounts of times blocked in a season? And ironically, the person who held the record for turnovers was Alyssa Thomas last year. During her near MVP year, she held the turnover record, which Clark broke, and the blocked shot record was actually held by Aja Wilson. So they are two records where the people that held them are some of the best players in the world. So it makes no odds breaking those negative records. Either way, that is the video. Skip Bayless has his new target. It's Caitlin Clark.